Hello, wonderful people. Thank you so much for having me again. I am Fela GH and the page is Fela GH TV. Okay, so May is almost over. June, July, and August are the peak season for F1 visa interviews. So going in for your interview, you have to know the 7 codes that can help guide your American dream into reality by getting your F1 visa approved. So in this video, I'm going to go through with you 7 points or 7 codes you need to know that can help guide your dream into reality. Now, this is a bit disclaimer. I am not a visa attorney. I am not an agent. This is something I've gone through personally and I share with you my experiences. Now, let's jump straight into it. I know many of you have got interviews coming closer, so there is no time to waste. Let's jump into it. Now, the first point I would want to talk about is confidence. Now, for those of you who have been following me for so long on TikTok, confidence is something I've really been talking about day in, day out. It's really important to me because many people who do come on my mock sessions who have got their previous visa denied come in and they are like, oh, feel like when I went in for the first time, I was so nervous and I couldn't deliver, and I believe that was why my visa was denied. It's really common to be nervous. Yes, nervousness is really common because way back when we were kids, we all had dreams to one day migrate to the States legally. And therefore, if you have got the opportunity, like 2 or 3 minutes, come and stand before someone, get interviewed, and within 2 minutes or 3 minutes, that long-term dream can actually be realized in that short seconds or that short minutes. That should really give you some butterflies in your heart or in your chest or in your mind or wherever they could be. That is the cause of the nervousness. But don't let this nervousness overtake the interview. If you have prepared very well, if you have researched, if you are on top of issues, then of course you will be able to overcome this nervousness I'm talking about. So confidence will never come until you have learned, you have practiced, you have researched. Now, social media is very common. Get onto social media. There are a lot of platforms where you can go for mock sessions, where you can go and learn. Go in and learn. Because it's really common nowadays, like you come on TikTok, feel like it's talking about this, you go on Twitter or IG, the first is here. There are many guys who are doing this. I can't claim to be the expert. There are many people who are on top of issues when it comes to this business. Go in and learn. Go online. Go Visa is like there are a lot of avenues that you can learn. Go and practice, go and learn in your room, in your office, among your family or with your friend. Rehearse, practice, let them listen to you. Talk. The more you talk, the more you become confident in what you say. Now, if you're on top of issues, you're confident of what you're talking about. You get it. People are like, oh, feel like because you have been on TV or you are an actor. No, this has got nothing to do with being on TV. This has got nothing to do with acting. It is basically based on practice. The more you practice, the better you become. So keep on practicing and confidence will be developed in there. The second point is seal the hose. Seal the hose, as simple as that. Now, let me use this practical example to talk about sealing the hose. Let's say you go to the interview and the officer asks you, why do you want to do this program? And your answer will be like, oh, I want to pursue this Master of Science in, let's say, data analytics so that I get the necessary skill and knowledge to come back and take the position of, let's say, communication director or IT consultant or whatever. What do you mean by the necessary skills and knowledge? What exactly are you talking about? Let the visa officer know that I really need to do this to get A, B, and C. Mention the skills you're talking about. Mention the knowledge you're talking about. Whatever that program will get you or will be able to equip you with when you come here into the States, let the visa officer know, and he or she will know the reason why you really want to do this program. But if you answer the questions and you leave holes in it, trust me, you leave more room for the visa officer to keep asking you so many questions. And the more they ask you so many questions, the likelihood it is for you to get yourself denied. So please, when you are delivering, when you are answering your questions, make sure every little information the officer needs to be convinced about your delivery or about your real intention to come to the States, make sure you are given it. Don't leave holes. Don't leave potholes. Don't leave blank sheets for officers to keep asking you questions and asking you questions. Keep this. The more they ask you so many questions, the likelihood it is for you to get your visa denied. The third point is prove your legitimacy. Okay, so one key area the officers consider in issuing a visa according to the manual is that the student is able to prove that they are a legit student, and for that reason, their main motive or their only motive for coming to the state is to study and go back to their country. Now, proving your legitimacy or showing that you're a legit student can be done in many ways. The simplest one is that gaining an admission to a recognized university here in the state. So if you have that, that's the first thing, but it doesn't end there. An officer can poke into your submission or can ask you a question like, tell me about your school. Basically, you don't know anything about the school, not the president, not when it was established, not the primary colors, not the mascots, where it is located. You don't know anything about the school, your president, you don't know who the president of your school is. That may raise questions as to, are you really a student? You get it. And an officer may ask you, tell me about your program or your study plan. You basically do not know anything about your program or your study plan. All you know is you're coming to do computer science and that is it. You don't know how many credit hours, the first semester, what are the key courses you'll be taking, or you don't know any specific or any special thing within the program that you're coming to do, like an internship within the program or a seminar or something really key in your program. You don't know anything about that. All you know is that you're coming to do, let's say, computer science, and that's it. You don't know anything about that. Please learn about all these things. A visa officer may want to know what your degree plan is or what your program is about, or may want to know something about your school. Mostly at the graduate level and the PhD level, you may be going to do a research. You may have mentioned what the topic is about. You should be able to be ready to tell the visa officer what it actually entails, because some officers may want to poke into it and know more about it. Maybe not necessarily to test you whether you are a legit student, but maybe the topic is interesting and they also want to learn something about it. And when they ask you anything about it, you don't know. You basically do not know anything about it. Please make sure you have that at hand. And the last thing I will talk about is your background. Don't forget about your background. What you did in your undergraduate studies, some of the key things you did learn under that program, you should be able to remember. Because some officers can ask you, oh, what's your background? Let's say you say accounting. Then they will ask you, oh, what's accounting? Or what is entailed in preparing a financial statement. You basically do not know anything about this. The officer may be like, really, are you a legit student? So make sure you are on top of issues. You learn about your program, your academic background, your school, the president, and all this information. An officer may ask you and you may find yourself wanting, which may signal that you are not a legit student, or maybe you only want to use the school route to migrate to the state. The fourth point is harness on your biggest asset. What is your biggest asset coming in for the interview? Is it about your scholarship? Is it about your program? Is it about your university? Whatever your stronghold is or your asset is, make sure you use it very well. Some people have got fully funded scholarship, but when you listen to the way they do their submission, it looks like they have a deficit of, let's say, 50,000 to pay. No, my brother, my sister, you have a fully funded scholarship. Make sure you harness on it, because that is your strongest or your biggest asset. It may be that you're going to a very prestigious school. This is not to say that some schools are not respected. So far as the school has been able to issue an I-20 for you, meaning that the school has got credibility to do that, to admit international students, so you are good to go. But what I'm talking about is, let's say you get admission to Oxford University or Princeton University or MIT, like these big schools we know. Make sure you are taking it as your biggest asset. You are really harnessing on it, or you do your submission in a way that, yes, this student deserves to go to MIT or deserves to go to this school, and have to give him the visa. Your asset may not necessarily be your scholarship or your school, but maybe how you can actually deliver. There are people who can actually talk. When they talk, you may think they are fully funded scholarship, but before you get to know, they have more than 30,000 or 40,000 deficit. If you can really be able to deliver very well, you may drift the attention of some of the officers from certain things that may be your weakness to rather drawing the attention to what your stronghold is. So identify what your stronghold or your biggest asset is and use it very, very well. The fifth point is highlight the need for you to do your program in the States. Why is it even important for you to come to the States from your home country, or why didn't you choose any other country or university in any other country but specifically the US? The reason why you chose US could be the same reason why you are going to a specific university, in the sense that if you had a very good reason to go to University of Northern British Columbia, which is in Canada, then of course your destination would have been Canada and not the States. Or you had a very good reason to go to University of Barcelona, then your destination would have been Spain and not the US. So the reason why you chose the US could also serve as the reason why you chose this university. The two questions are closely related and they can be answered in both ways. Now, the need for you to study your program in the state is very, very important. Other than that, a visa officer may say that then there is no need for you to go to the state, because you can do this in your home country or you can do it in any other country and not the state. What is it really the special thing why you want to go to the state? Some people, they identify a particular concentration in the program which is in that particular university, and that is why they chose that university, and that's why they want to come to the state. Some people, they are having a research on a specific topic that a professor is also working on the same thing. They've got a fully funded scholarship to that effect, and they are coming to that particular university to be mentored by that particular professor in having that research to come back to your country and implement it. And that is the reason why you want to go to the state or that particular university. So there may be a lot of dynamisms as to why you want to go to the state or why you want to come to the state. Find that special thing or find that particular reason why you want to come to the state and highlight on it, because a visa officer would want to know. There are many universities even in the States, even in the world, or in Europe or in Northern America. Why don't you want to go to any other country but in the US and to this particular university? Have a good reason. Some people, it may be an internship opportunity within the program, which can give you the technical know-how or to let you practicalize what you have been taught or the theoretical aspect of your studies. So that is the reason why you want to go to the particular university you chose, and that is the same reason why you want to come to the state. So find that particular reason. If you're unable to tell me or the visa officer why is there the need for you to do this particular program in your university or in the state, then of course you would have to sit back home and do that same program. Point number 6 is exhibit your financial capabilities. Now, let me tell you that education in the States, especially for international students, is extremely expensive, like very expensive. Make sure that your family is good enough to sponsor you or to finance your education through. If you're coming for undergraduate studies, note that it is for 4 years. So if your deficit is somewhere, around 40,000, you should know 40,000 times 4. That is much money. Or if you're coming for graduate studies, it is 2 years. So if your deficit is 30,000, make sure you're coming to pay 60,000 here in the States. Education here as an international student is really expensive. So please take note of it. The simplest way to prove that you have enough funds to educate yourself here or to go through your education here in the States is getting a fully funded scholarship. I've always been saying this, I've always been advocating for scholarships. So getting scholarships simply means that your total cost is covered. Some schools may give you a fully funded scholarship, but it may not cover your health insurance. Some may give you fully funded scholarship or a scholarship, but it may not cover, let's say, your housing or your feeding or your meal plan or whatever. So note the detail of your fully funded scholarship and provide a bank statement to that effect, of which it doesn't cover. Some people too may get a partial scholarship, maybe some 10,000, some 15,000, some 20,000 or some 7,000, but then it's still left with something to pay. Make sure you have a good bank statement to support the deficit and have a good story to craft it around your partial scholarship and then who is funding the remaining. I know it's not everyone who can get a fully funded scholarship or a partial scholarship. In as much as I pray for that or I earnestly hope for that, not everyone can get a partial scholarship or a fully funded scholarship. So what do you do then? Make sure you have a good bank statement to finance your education. Some people do come to me that, oh fella, my deficit is 30,000 and my bank statement is 31,000. That is quite risky. Even though you have some money in there to cover for your total cost for a year, that may be risky in the sense that your family may be feeding from the same bank statement. So if anything happens in your family, they will feed into that and it will eat into your the money you will pay in school. So that may be risky to go with that money. Make sure you have enough bank balance to show that yes, I can finance myself when I come to the States, because the student ability to finance him or herself is one of the key areas officers consider to issue a visa according to the manual. Point number 7 and the final point is connect yourself back home. Yes, always find a way to connect yourself back home, in the sense that the home titan in this study abroad journey or in this US visa issuance is the backbone, especially for the student visa, because the principle is that the student or the person coming for the student visa should be a legit student, should have enough funds to support himself, and then he should have the intention only to come and study in the States and go back to his home country. So the issue of home tie is the actual backbone of the student visa. So always find a way to connect yourself back home. There may not be a direct question as to, oh, tell me your home tie or what connects you home, or are you coming back, or why do you think there may not be a direct question like that. Some people may get one way in one way or the other, but it's not direct. So find a way in your submission to put it in the need for you to come back to your home country. Let them know that yes, you are going to do A, B, and C. You are coming to solve A, B, and C when you come back, or you are going to do A, B, and C to occupy this position or to advance in your position, or do A, B, and C when you come back. Especially, let's say you are a nursing student. You found out that something is going on in your community about health, and you think you can address it. So you are going to do this nursing program to come and solve A, B, and C. You are going to do a medicine program, or you are going for a science program, let's say agriculture-based program. You found out that there's an outbreak in your home country that you think going to learn this can really help solve that situation in your home country. So that is why you want to go and do this, and then you come back and implement it in your home country and help agriculture in your home country. So always connect yourself back home, because the backbone of this student visa is that you go learn and come back to your home country. So guys, these are the 7 points I would want to talk about, especially with the home tie thing. I've done a full video on how to connect yourself back home or how to prove home tie on my TikTok page. So if you haven't followed me on TikTok already, make sure you subscribe to my YouTube page and go on TikTok. The same name as you see here, FelaGH Go on TikTok also and follow me. I do have mock sessions and interviews and live sessions on my TikTok page. I'm very vibrant on that page. So make sure you go there and follow me as well. On all other social media handles, it has always been FelaGH. Thank you so much, guys. I can't wait to see you in the States. So take your practice seriously, pray into it, and then God will surely make it happen. See you in the States. Bye.